Good evening and welcome to the Whaler Guys. I'm Jerry Irwin along with Pete Hindle on the other side of the blue line tonight and not in the penalty box. He hasn't irritated the snot out of me tonight.
Not yet. On my way.
Pretty soon.
Yeah.
Hockey is in full swing. We had opening week of the NHL,
That's
and it's
right.
been pretty exciting. We are at the world headquarters of the Whaler Guys. You guys are the brigade. Still looking green out there. We haven't any snow, just like in Colorado. The other day they
How
showed
about that?
73 one day, 31 in snow the next.
Yeah.
Never living.
Maybe that's the secret power for the Colorado Avalanche, who came east and beat the Rangers, and then on Columbus Day, which is just a couple days ago,
Beat the Bruins.
2-0. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of surprising to see this Avalanche team that everybody talked about last year, and everybody was like, oh, God, they're
They only
dead
talked about them because they were second
They
to
were
last.
dead doornail type team last year. So, so we talk about the Rangers, a little bit of the Bruins. Have you gotten to see the Bruins in a game yet? You saw the opener, I believe,
I
right?
saw a little bit of it, and from what I saw, they looked like they were playing well, but apparently they didn't play well against Colorado because they lost. But and Bruins news, Malcolm Subban got dealt.
Yeah.
He went out west, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
I forgot where he
was
went.
picked up by.
We just talked about it.
Yeah, we did talk about that. So, yeah, unfortunately, somebody just picked him up for nothing, and we assume the Bruins couldn't get anything for him. But if they even tried, we don't know.
No, Don Sweeney he said that they tried. They tried to shop him, but he wasn't performing. And we saw him in person a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And
lost his cool a couple times.
Well, he
giving
had
up
that
bad
neck
goal.
injury from looking behind him. And
So
I'm sure
true.
there's a great deal of pressure on him
Right.
because his big brother is doing so well now
Right.
with the Nashville Predators.
Yeah.
And he's a remarkable player, PK. Like we've said off camera, you don't like him playing against you, but you'd love to have him on your team.
Right, absolutely. Now, the Rangers are actually not off to a hot start. Now, keep in mind, we understand these are 2 to 4 games these teams have played. But, the Rangers have been a little bit all over the place. They got blown out by Toronto 8-5. That's a lot of goals to give up. They did beat the Canadiens 2-0 in that, but that was their only win out of the 4 games. So, you wonder if the Rangers have some issues to worry about. I mean, this is going to be kind of a toss-up in this division. I mean, now we might make a prediction. Who do you think is going to win the Atlantic Division this year? That's a tough one.
It really is. I mean, you see how these teams are starting out, and like you said before, this is the beginning of the season, so it's unfair to really make any real prediction now.
Right.
What has impressed me is the St. Louis Blues. 4-0.
Right.
Tage Thompson, unfortunately, has zeros across the board and a -3 for being on the ice, but they're 4-0, and they seem like they've picked up right where they were last year.
It's funny about the St. Louis Blues in the Atlantic Division. Lindsay's got a picture here. We'll show you the division real quick. The Atlantic Division picture. So, I would say it would be either Toronto or Tampa Bay. So it seems to be turning up all blue.
And Toronto's off to a fast start.
Yeah, they are, and they were fun last year. And there's potential there, Austin Matthews.
They've added Marlowe this year from the Sharks. He's a very good player. Getting towards the end of his career, but he's still, I think he's going to do well with them. And we met Coach Babcock
That's right.
in Hartford. And it looks like he's that type of go-get-him type of guy.
Right.
So.
Now he's got that superstar, and a lot of people predict Austin Matthews will be the leading scorer in the NHL this year. It could be, Sidney Crosby, of course, always, and you can also look at a Connor McDavid out in Edmonton. But you were talking about the Blues, and we know that Tage Thompson's on the team. He's not off to a great start. Granted, there's a couple of games. I think
he's young.
Yeah, -3, and he's only played in his first 3 or 4 games of this season.
But he's playing, and that's what's really important. And we're very proud of him and happy for him. Coming out of UConn, going into the NHL. Last year he spent some time with the Chicago Wolves and the AHL, and now he's playing with the parent club.
Right.
The other thing that was really cool about this week was watching how fast Ovechkin got off to a start.
Yeah.
He had back-to-back hat tricks.
Yeah.
And then I'm watching the second game, and he has 4 goals for the whole game. His hat trick occurs in the first period. I mean, this guy is amazing.
He never gets to do that in the playoffs, though. That's when you need those big games. Like
I don't want him to be regarded as the Alex Rodriguez of the NHL.
Oh gosh,
Mr. Clutch, and all of a sudden,
not in the playoffs.
No.
So I guess early in the season, Lindsay's going to show you another picture here because there's a surprise. in the entire league. Our next picture here is of the Pacific Division. And how about that?
The Golden Knights.
First time an expansion team has won their first 3 games.
Yep.
And we have this up now because I guarantee you will not see this continue. But
Well,
anyway, it's been cool.
Don't guarantee anything. Your guarantees.
No,
are my
we're
guarantees.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
Watch it if I'm wrong.
Yeah. and then looking down in the stats, is you can see that the Oilers have dropped all the way down.
Yeah.
But again, another Connor McDavid with a hat trick.
Yeah.
And there was one other hat trick. I believe it was with Chicago.
Right.
3 hat tricks in the first week of the season. Which says a lot for these talented players.
Yeah, rusty goaltending, maybe.
Unfortunately, the goaltenders need to get their crap together.
Yeah. I mean, it's really what it's all about. I mean, you think about goaltenders this season. I mean, you think Carey Price is probably one of those guys who's going to end up on top. We talk about Nashville.
If he stays healthy.
Right, Nashville being there in the mix, probably good chance for a championship. A lot of people think Edmonton. Even though that they didn't make it to the finals last year, that this is a team that can. With Cam Talbot, Connor McDavid, and a couple of those players.
Yep.
So it's tough to see, but we'll have to.
And you have to congratulate.
See how it develops.
You have to congratulate Jari Kurri with playing his 24th season as an NHLer.
Oh, you mean Jaromir Jagr?
I'm sorry, Jaromir Jagr.
Because I didn't know Jari Kurri came back.
Jari Kurri.
I mean, he's
thinking,
awesome,
I'm
but
thinking Oilers, and
yeah.
you can take you right back to the
Did he
Gretzky, Jari
Did
Kurri.
he come back with Issa Tikkanen or what?
Yeah, right, exactly. Everyone's back.
Everybody's back.
Bring them back.
Bring the Whalers
Anyway.
back. Bring all their foes back.
Oh, NHL 94.
Yeah, that's right. Jagger's with the Calgary. So
yes,
it's like
and
his
he signed-
12th team or something.
Yes, 24th season.
Wow.
And he'll be starting tonight. I forgot who they're playing tonight. Oh, they're playing the Kings tonight.
Yeah, No, they're playing. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, and then they
So-
go on to play the Golden Knights.
So he's making his season debut
Right.
tonight on social media. It was great. He actually surprised the traveling Jagers.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
right,
came out
yeah.
with his jersey and
That's a funny
surprised
thing
them.
to do. Now they had to add a couple more people because they need
Yep.
a Panther Jagger and
Yep,
they need a
yep.
Calgary Jagger. And so, I mean, that guy, think about it. If you think about sports in general at the major league level, try and find me another player in another sport that's been playing since 1991 or 90,
And you see the gray with the goatee, the gray in his hair.
Yeah,
Good for him.
Yeah.
I'm glad that someone picked him up.
Yeah.
There was another guy. Glass. Tanner
Oh,
Glass.
Tanner Glass got in a big fight.
It
Yeah.
was a great scrap.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
He fought a guy from the Oilers.
Yeah, got a bloody dome.
Split the guy's dome.
Yeah.
And he went for a tryout with the Calgary Flames, a professional tryout period, and then the Flames signed him for a 1-year, $650,000 contract.
Wow.
And it was great. I mean, it was a great fight. We can say that because hockey allows it.
Yeah.
And nobody's down on a knee doing the national anthem.
Yeah,
But
happens.
again, that's another thing. For
Yeah,
another
a whole
time.
nother
we
ball
don't
of
wanna
eggs.
start any crap.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it was great to see Tanner Glass.
Yeah.
It looked like with the professional tryout, this could be the end of his hockey career.
Yeah.
And Calgary took a swing
shot
at
at him,
him.
yeah.
And he took a swing.
Yeah,
at
and
the
he
other
took
guy.
a swing at it was against Edmonton. So, why don't we look at some local stuff here? So we're going to ask Lindsay to put up the next picture here because, Hartford hockey's full in swing. And here we have UConn that's on the road starting out in Maine and was able to get a split, which is a good thing. They weren't able to do that. Well, they did that last year. But you'll remember they lost 6-4 in Bridgeport, and that was their home game. They couldn't play at the XL Center that night. And then they got shellacked at Fenway Park.
Well, they won
4-0.
6-4. They won 6-4 in Bridgeport.
Right.
Right.
And then they lost 4-0 at Fenway.
And you were there for the Fenway
Yeah,
event?
I was there for that. It was kind of cold, but not Whale Bowl cold.
Oh.
But yeah, we also, so we know that UConn lost the opener 4-3 to Maine, and Huska, I think, made 29 shots he faced, and he gave up 5 of those, so it's 24 saves. The second game was more of a dominant game. You saw guys make plays like Miles Gendrum, which is a defenseman. He was, helping out the starting lineup. But so the UConn had a dominating win on Saturday, October, was it the 8th? Yeah, the 8th, or 7th maybe. But anyway.
7th was Saturday.
Yeah, so 5-1, they beat Maine. Huska then had 37 saves.
Nice.
So that's the kind of thing you need. And that first game, UConn lost in overtime, but they had great, if you look at their shots totals, they had 12 shots in the first, 12 shots in the second, and 13 shots in the third. It was a nice balanced attack, and that's what they need to do. So they are playing this Friday against AIC. If you remember last year, Jerry and I went to AIC versus UConn at the XL Center, and they ended up in the 2-2 tie. So sometimes UConn doesn't get up for these non-conference games.
Right.
So, but if you want to experience it, and it was someone from the governor's office told us, hey, if UConn wants to experience what Whaler fans went through, drive up to Springfield this Friday and root for the Huskies, because that's what it was like when Whaler fans had to travel all the way up to 91 because the Civic Center collapsed. And they were watching the Whalers in Springfield.
91 club.
Yeah, the 91 club.
Yep,
so
91 club.
this Friday, AIC, UConn, and don't forget Saturday in Springfield as well, the Wolf Pack take on the Thunder Birds.
And Friday the 13th, they're home against...
Yeah.
They're home. It's a 7:05 start.
Toronto.
Toronto Marlies, right.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one because they just never seem to beat Toronto. I mean, it's very rare. Especially when they go out to Toronto, they get hammered. So this Friday night, let's see if the Wolfpack can hang with the Toronto Marlies.
And really, I want to see what Toronto has to offer because their parent club is stacked this year.
Right.
So I want to see what their farm club's like because just like the Wolfpack, you get some injuries or lack of play up on the parent club. Who are they going to bring up to kind of recharge the parent club?
Right.
And it's always fun to watch the AHL to see who's in line to head up to the parent club and help them out.
Right. And that was another thing when we talk about the Wolfpack. They just the Rangers' top round draft pick was just sent to Hartford. And if you go to the Hartford Wolfpack page, you can see he got on the ice and did his little guy's pretty fast, let's say. So it's great to have some prospects for the Wolfpack. In the two Wolfpack games, we might as well switch to the next picture here because we have so the Wolfpack played two home games. Friday night was their home opener, and they lost to the Charlotte Checkers, I believe in overtime.
5-4.
5-4.
Yep.
So
in front of a 6,000.
Yeah, 6,000 people.
6,000 attendance.
Which is not a huge opener, but it's it's in the range that they usually get, somewhere between 6 and 8. Occasionally they break in the 9-10s, but you'll never forget, of course, 2010 when they had 13,000.
Oh yeah.
But that was not really an opener. That was just an unveiling of the New Jersey. That was after Thanksgiving. But that was the opening of that. Of the New Jersey. But anyway, so they lose in overtime. I'm sorry, they lose 5-4.
Right.
The first game and.
No, that was
Georgiev.
an overtime win or loss.
Regulation.
5-4.
Right.
It was regulation.
I'm pretty sure.
Because I know the Sunday game was.
Well, I only remember because Georgiev, the goalie for the Wolfpack, he gave up 5 goals and played about 60 minutes. So I think they lost in regulation, and his save percentage was somewhere down in the 74th percentile, which is like you're giving up 1 goal out of every 4 shots. So this past Sunday, they played, as you can see on our screen here, thanks to the Hartford Wolf Pack for the photo, they played the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. I almost called them the Allentown. Anyway, they're in Pennsylvania or whatever, But anyway, this is the Flyers minor league affiliate, and they beat them 2-1. And Chris Nell is the other goaltender the Wolfpack have. So you can see that the Wolfpack coach here is saying, let me start you one night and start you the other night and see what happens. So Chris Nell stopped, he only allowed 1 goal and had a save percentage up in the 92-93 area. So that may be that Chris Nell may be the guy that they kind of look at early in the season to see if this is the guy. Of course, this is all one game.
Again,
we got to see how it goes, but
season.
We might as well take a look and see what we think out of those first couple games.
What bothers me in the first 2 games is their power play. They're 1 for 10.
Right.
When we talked to Keith McCambridge, the coach, he said we're not going to be back on our heels. Well, you might want to push them forward a bit because they seem to be on their heels.
Get the radius of
the
your
good news
skates.
is the good news is they got off. The last game was a win.
Right.
So they're on a high right now. Let's carry on to Friday night's game. Maybe Friday the 13th will be lucky for them.
Yeah, that's interesting. And Friday the 13th, there's hockey all around us. So you got UConn playing at Springfield, and then you got the Wolfpack playing in Hartford. And hey, look at the Knowledge Corridors full of hockey games this weekend.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So, but yeah, we'll have to see how this all kind of pans out. It's obviously, last year the power play for the Wolfpack was horrendous. I mean, it was terrible. And they got guys like Joe Whitney this year, who's a big free agent signing in the AHL, a goal scorer, a guy gets a point, every night, if not every other night. So, but they're still, 1 for 10 on the power play. That's 10% of the time. That's not a playoff team. I'm not even close.
You're supposed to be on an advantage for a reason.
Yeah, so cold start. We'll just say that. Cold start. It's not like you have to keep tinkering with it yet, but
well, I think they're gonna see who's jiving with who on the ice. The chemistry has to be there. They're just getting to know each other really because as you saw from the training camp with the Rangers, there's only a short period of time that they have the club before they start playing these games.
Right.
I mean, I didn't really pay attention prior to that how quickly, the Rangers sent people down, and all of a sudden you have a couple practices. Next thing you have a couple preseason games, and then you're going right into the season.
Yeah.
So, I would give them more the benefit of the doubt and see how that chemistry is going to line up, especially with a new coach, a new assistant coach, and it's time now to see how they're going to now restructure this club.
Right, and it's been a little bit different the off season this year. I mean, because you had all the coaching changes and the general managers. You brought in consultants. You got Brad Richards, and you've got the Cheshire kid, Brian Leach.
Yep.
So it seems like there's a consummate effort to try and make this team, develop some players. And like I said, they got the draft pick coming in and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, interesting to see. So, I haven't been to the Wolfpack game yet. So
I hope to
hoping to do this Friday.
I hope to make it Friday.
Yeah, or one or the other.
Yep.
Depending on what we're
Our
allowed
schedules.
to do.
Yes. We'll check with the
got to check with the boss.
The better half.
Yes, the much better half.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll have to get out there and see some Hartford hockey this weekend, and get ready for the season coming up. The big home opener for the UConn at the XL Center is against Vermont, the Catamounts, and that will be October 21st. So that's a Saturday, a couple
weeks.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah. So this Saturday, of course, if you're just jonesing to see something about the Whalers, you can make your way up to the Warner Theater, and there's an international playwright competition or drawing, and one of the one-act plays that was chosen out of 200 is about the Whalers. It's called The Morning After, and it's a bit of a comedy, and it deals with probably kind of guys like us at the time that were just like trying to grasp our minds around our team being just ripped
happened.
away, and someone lining their pockets or something, and so it just feels like
what would be a nice
be a little comedy in
follow-up
there.
to the morning after.
Yeah.
Is yes, they're going to talk about the Whalers leaving and how they're feeling, and obviously the morning of losing our team.
Right.
The second part to that play should be the hangover that you have because you had the drink.
My head still hurts.
Yeah, it is.
My head
It's
still
terrible.
Hurts. Yep.
I tell you.
Oh.
Another
real.
thing I have to bring up
Yeah.
because it's the right thing to do.
Okay.
Is this past Sunday was my anniversary.
Uh-oh.
And the good news is she has signed a lease for another year.
Wow, another year?
Yep.
We thought it was going to walk out.
Nice dinner.
Yeah.
Took her out to dinner. She re-signed the lease. I'm good for another year.
You are.
So to my wife, Rachel, I appreciate everything you do for us, the Whaler guys, and me specifically in putting up with my antics. So to my wife, thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
I just had to say that.
I got to sweat it out. I got to wait till March to see if I can, so I got
and
this.
it's touch and go.
This crunch,
Touch and go.
6
It's always-
months. I got a crunch time, so I got to
Think
get
of
on my
something-
game.
You have to think big.
Think
big.
dazzle.
Yeah, dazzle.
Jazz hands or
So,
something.
and some sparkle.
Yeah, something's So
Sparkle
I
can
got
be
I got
expensive,
some
be
time,
careful.
but I definitely have to keep consistent there. So because nobody wants make sure you got to keep that lease going. Otherwise, God knows what we do.
We're year by year. Yeah, I know. We'll be like the odd couple.
Yeah.
The thing we also have to follow up on with Chris Sheffield from Berger Sports
that's right.
and Berger Hockey
Yep.
is if they're going to have another outdoor hockey, pond hockey tournament. That was outstanding last year.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
I looked through all those pictures, and
Yeah.
it was such a beautiful day up there. It's beautiful, Winchester, Connecticut,
Yeah.
where we're going to be up near there in Torrington
Right.
this Saturday night for that play.
Right.
But it was such a great time, and to see the young kids out there on the ice, and of course the hockey moms and dads carting all their crap.
Yeah.
And
You were
of
not
course,
kidding.
and they had Ted's steamed hamburgers, who are going to be at the XL Center this year.
That's right.
So make sure you visit that, as well as the USS Chowder Pot.
Yeah.
So I will have to talk to Chris and see if we're going to get another Berger hockey tournament, because that
would be
was a
great.
lot of fun.
Yeah, and
They ended up sending 3 kids to camp this summer with the money they raised, so it was very important.
And just about, if you're interested, you can take a look on Facebook for Berger Hockey and learn more about the tournament. It's pretty much, open up. They kind of keep it all ages. So, and last time they had a bunch of teams out there, and 3 or 4 ice rinks, and you're watching, all these games, and we were skating about 5 inches of ice or something.
Yeah, it was
so
kinda touch and
there was a
go
little bit
there.
there.
Yeah.
There's a guy ice fishing out there. I thought we could do that this year.
No,
What do you think?
There's no reason for that.
Hey, you never know.
No, you fish when it's warm.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
What do
Same
you think? We're in
difference.
Alaska?
Well, I mean,
No.
something to do.
No, it's not.
Take a break.
No, I go skate around.
Yeah, well, then you skate
Stay
around
warm.
and come back, check the tip-ups. And,
No, because I'll fall in a hole.
Yeah, well, hey, we're
Listen.
pretty sure that Berger Hockey is going to have another tournament. Usually it is the weekend between the championship games for the NFL and the Super Bowl. There's there's 1 week
a
there.
gap.
There's a gap there, and so we were there at 7 o'clock in the morning And you want to bring as much clothes as you can wear.
Long johns are required.
The center of Winchester is
Winstead. It's wide open.
Yeah.
There's a nice little February breeze.
Right. But a very good time. So
we had fun.
we definitely.
And Chris does a great job.
Oh yeah, and it's all for fun, and we did a Facebook Live there from last year. Somehow we had a signal, so we'll probably do that again this year.
And we have to, of course, do our shout out to the Carolina Hurricanes for once again making the news. 18,000 for opening night against the Minnesota Wild. Wow. Outstanding. And then the second home game, 7,000 people showed up.
Wow.
What happened?
Well, that's how many freebies they probably gave out for the first game, and they didn't give out freebies for the second game, and so,
And it's a shame because I don't care where you are, and I'm not sticking up for Carolina by any means because they stole our hockey club.
Right.
But you want people to go to the games. I mean, you can see the difference, and they ended up losing the second game, obviously, because they felt like they were let down by their fans. And the same thing happens in Hartford. We had 6,000 for opening night with the Wolf Pack, and then Sunday afternoon, 2,500.
Which is about normal for Sunday. And for Carolina, this team's supposed to be a little bit better this year. Something to kind of.
They have Darling in goal from Chicago this year.
Yeah.
And, they won the first game against a good Minnesota club.
Right.
And then lost the second game. I don't know if Cam Ward was in goal for that one or what. I didn't get the statistical data on that.
Yeah.
But again, it's just a shame that the support isn't there, but opening night it's there. Like you said, are they just giving away tickets or are they competing against the NFL? What? Cam Newton?
Yeah.
They're not crushing the league right now.
And the NFL is not the most popular sport right now in the world. So, I don't know what the deal is. It's pretty much most markets are if the team's playing well, they sell well. But in this particular case, Carolina has to play well in order to sell well, and they're not selling well because they're not playing well. Are you following this?
It kind of reminds me of what Hartford was.
Yeah.
There were times that we get these great crowds in, and then the team would go and not have great games, and you'd see a decline in attendance.
And the fans would go.
That too. And but this is the second game of the season. Give them a chance, for Christ's sake. So we got a lot going on. Like we said, opening week of hockey.
Right.
The Bruins, you said, are heading west for the home and home against Colorado.
Yeah, it'd be great if they lost twice.
Cut it out.
All right.
Pick a team and you root for them.
The Whalers.
They're not playing.
They haven't lost since '97. I mean,
we're undefeated. We're undefeated.
Undefeated since '97.
The stats, we can't show you the stats.
Yeah, we have no stats.
Yeah, right. So, but we'll keep you up to date on what's happening with the NHL, the AHL, and of course UConn hockey, October 21st.
Right.
So until we get some more information, what was the other thing we were going to talk about? There was another thing that we were talking about. The budget.
Yeah.
You kind of lose it because.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
I still don't understand.
We have the budget right here.
Yeah, right here it says
there's nothing on it.
Right.
Yeah, so.
And the other thing is I get kind of irritated about this. I won't go on a tangent because we only have a couple minutes.
Right.
But how can they not do their jobs correctly to pass a budget, but they still have a job?
Yeah.
It's like who's on first?
I'm going to try it at work. I'm just going to say, hey, I can't get that thing done. Still working it out.
Give me a little leeway.
Give me 18 months.
We're the last state in the country.
Right.
The whole country.
I think Puerto Rico has a budget. I mean, we're a territory or state.
They don't have anything, and they still probably have a budget.
They probably do. So
it's
there
ridiculous.
You go.
So, I have a difficult time with this not getting done.
Yeah.
And these are the people we vote into office.
Right.
So I think we should probably take our time seeing who's mucking around here and see if by then they might have their stuff together.
Yeah. Budget some time for the budget. That's all I'm saying.
All that has to be written in at the bottom is XL Center, renovation.
Yeah.
And like we said, Suzanne Hopgood, great op-ed piece.
Yeah.
So we are going to see you next time on the Whaler Guys. You guys are the brigade. We're One Nation Under Green. Keep the dream alive and have a good night, everyone.